Video, we're going to talk about how you can adjust the display quality. Now, by default, when you open up InDesign, you'll notice that a lot of times the imagery may look kind of funky, I'll put it that way. It looks very pixelated, it looks just horrible. Well, basically what that is that InDesign, right out the box, it comes in what they call a typical mode. I'm going to show you this right now where it says View. When you go to the View menu, drop down to Display Performance, and you'll see it's at the typical display. All right. Before I show you the difference between the two, let me just explain to you. You see you have fast display, typical display, and then high quality. Fast display, as you can see, basically is nothing. The reason why it comes this way is because there may be several people working on a project in the workflow. So say, for example, this project may go to an editor, and they may not be working with the latest and greatest software, but they need to edit the actual ad or the layout right live, right on the screen. And they probably don't need to see the artwork because you have to remember, if you have it on display, it's going to take long to process. So this is the called fast mode. So basically, anybody who just needs to put in content, they can do that without being encumbered by art having to reflow. And then of course for the designer, it's just the opposite. We want to see everything nice and sharp. So now you have the high quality display. And the high quality display is basically just that. You get to see it, in its full intensity. And again, the reason why that is because for us, we need to see the quality of the imagery that we're working with. So that's the difference between the three different modes. So you have the high quality display, then you have the typical display, which is kind of crumbly looking, and then of course you have the fast display, which is just gray matter. Okay, so that's how you can identify, and that's why you have those different options. Video, we're going to discuss working with a clipping path. So let's say, for example, we have this image here of this vehicle, and basically I'm going to just reduce the size of it a little bit. Okay, and what I want to do is I want to be able to actually have the text go around this image to a certain extent, but I also want to get rid of the background. So what InDesign will allow you to do is, if we tap on, we select the image, we're going to go to Object, and we're going to drop down to where it says Clipping Path Options, and we click on this. And at this point, we can decide, okay, well, what do we want to clip? So if we come here, all right, you're going to notice that there's a couple of options that are available to us. You'll see Detect Edges, Alpha Channel, and then Photoshop Path. Well, there's a path in this particular image. So when I say select the path, I'm coming to the silo, all right? And now you can see I have this path that runs all the way around. It pretty much knocks out the background. So now I've eliminated the background, all right? And now I can actually, let me just get this over here, say OK. And now what I want to do is I want to have the text wrap around this background, wrap around this path. So now that I've done that, okay, I can go up to Window, drop down to where it says Text Wrap, all right? And then I'm going to choose not the second option, basically is a square option. It goes around the entire frame. That's not the one I want. I want the third one, where it actually says it's going to wrap around the path. And if you notice, there's only one value here because it doesn't have defined edges. So we have this one value, and we're just going to say we want to push the text away from this item. What I'll do is I'll type in the number 1, which is 1 pica understood, and as you can see, it moves it around the image 1 pica. So you get this nice little wraparound situation right here. Okay, so that's how you can bring in a clipping path and then actually wrap the text around that path. In this video, we're going to remove the white background that you would typically find in a rasterized or a bitmap image. I'll put it that way. So the one on top actually is our vector image, and if we click on this image right here, we can give it a color. We can give it a color background, and you can see that's not a problem. But when we click on this one right here, we give it the same color. Well, we can't really see it because there's this white background that pretty much comes with it. So we're going to try to get rid of that background, and again, it's pretty straightforward. What you want to do is you go up to Object, you're going to drop down to same thing. We're going down to Clipping Path, Options, all right, and then we're going to say, all right, we want to detect the edges. So say detect edges, and as you can see, it'll detect the edges, and you can control how much of the edge you want to get rid of. You got to be careful when you select threshold; it'll select all kinds of stuff. So you could just say, all right, detect edges, and you can say make it like 8. All right, tolerance. You can do something like that, and maybe tolerance, maybe just a little bit too much. So as you can see, you can actually start to use this to get rid of the background. It's not the best way to do it. The best way, of course, is to have a clipping path that would reside in the image. But that's how you can quickly get rid of a white background from a rasterized image. A little fun. What we're going to do is we're going to work with something that's called a TIFF bitmap. And I'm going to add these images right into this InDesign document. So let me just change the display performance. Let's make that okay. High performance. That's good. So I am going to go to the black and white. That's what I want. The TIFF bitmap. So I'll open this up. I'm going to place it in there. All right. I'm going to actually scale it down so it fits. All right. And then I'm going to take it and I'll put it in all of these different frames. Same image. All right, now here's the deal with working with a TIFF bitmap image. Basically, a TIFF bitmap image says there's only one bit of information, whereas with grayscale you have 256 levels of gray, and of course with RGB you have like basically millions of different colors. But with a TIFF bitmap, you only have one bit of information. It's just black against white. So we have options. So we can colorize this. So let's say, for example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the backgrounds. All right, I'll make the background, maybe in this one, I'll make some red. And I'll make the background in this one, say, green. And I'll make the background in this one, blue. And I'll make the background in this one, yellow. Okay, so those are my backgrounds. But I can even do this now. I can select the bitmap image, and I can change its color. So I can make that blue. And I'll make that yellow. And I can make that one, magenta. And I can make this one, I don't know, green. All right, so now you can see that with a TIFF bitmapped image, all right, you can actually color the actual graphic itself right in InDesign. So that's how you can work with a TIFF